Between Barra and Banjul lies a massive opening to the Atlantic Ocean that once served as a passage to a horrific past of enslavement and forced migration. At least 18 million people were violently stolen from these shores to the Americas, and at least 2 million thrown overboard in the sea. Fast forward to a few centuries today, the same Atlantic is back to being a major migration route, this time on a voluntary basis, as poverty and climate change become new slave masters, pushing scores to the dangerous Mediterranean in perilous journeys on fragile dugout boats. In the North Bank region, natives experience a combination of both degraded forest covers and poor soil fertility that has driven youths in the region towards mass exodus to Europe in search of greener pasture. A short trip to the hinterlands gave us first-hand testimonies of the horrors and tragedy families face in losing loved ones. Cedia, a young farmer, lost his best friend to the perilous journey called the back way. He said a decrease in their farm produce left his friend with no option but to leave, yet he was reluctant to narrate his story on camera. We spoke to an agriculturist with over 3 decades in the sector, who told us the cause of soil infertility in the once great farming region of the North Bank.
Fertilizer is good scientifically, but it has a side effect. When fertilizer came, we start to see the depletion of our soil nutrients because fertilizer is a chemical. Nobody dispute about that. And now it's even affecting our underground water, according to some laboratory tests with water resources and other people, because it seeps down up to the water level. The type of soil they are having is quite different from us because they have heavy soil. You have been traveling to Europe, you see their farms heavy, very heavy. Yes. This is why they need those big machines. Yes. But here, no, we don't need it.
Son of the village imam Amadou Jaita said despite farming being sometimes done at a loss, there's still hope in the soil. The North Bank region farmer revealed that he spends over $40,000 annually on fertilizers to realize good yields. Farming is very difficult in the Gambia. One of the main reasons is that fertilizers are very expensive. If that wasn't the case, people in the urban areas will come here to farm, but instead, it causes people to go on the back way or even look for monthly paid jobs. The Great Green Wall is a project that aims to end this ecological erosion and revive soil capacity by planting 18 million trees in recognition of the 18 million souls illegally trafficked across the Atlantic in the peak of the abdominal human trade that lasted for many years, robbing Africa of some of its greatest demographic and skilled populations. Environmentalist and country director Kemo Fati is organizing district assemblies across the 7 districts of the North Bank to develop a blueprint drawn by natives on issues affecting them in relation to climate change and how they intend to mitigate and adapt to changing weather systems.
And Thomas Sankara, the father of this Great Green Wall initiative, has said that we must accept to live the African way if we want to emancipate ourselves from these situations that we are facing. We must accept to live the African way, and we must also dare to invent the future. And this is exactly what we are doing. If our land is dying out, we need to discuss ways of restoring it, and it has to be a collective effort.
The natives converged at Debo Forest for a massive tree planting exercise that attracted both elderly and youth, who now perceive that running away from their lands will not solve the problem. Young people here are looking to take charge of their future and revive the long-lost glory of the forest reserves in North Bank. At least 1,800 seedlings were planted. The North Bank region suffered the most in 2021 windstorm with a significant loss of lives and property. Regional Forest Officer Bakari Jaju recommended that planting of more trees to serve as a shield for the wind to protect lives and property.
Areas that have more trees experience more rain. And Gambia, we are depending on rain-fed agriculture. So restoring back the forest cover, of course, will help us in making us have at least high rainfall pattern, and also at least we have high production.
That will protect homes, but what will put food on the table? And how can the great farming region of the North Bank gets its soil fertility back.
The only alternative or coping strategy farmers can use is to go in for virgin lands.
Climate change has caused a major setback in agriculture, depriving farming communities of huge economic benefits. Youths are looking for alternatives to escape a growing generation of climate migrants, leaving behind their lands and livelihoods for greener pastures. The rural-urban drift is causing population density in the metropolis, whilst the Gambia loses scores of youths to irregular migration. Reporting for GRTS News, I'm Bai Ibrahim Cham.